Welcome to a short reflection on Canto XII of Dante's Inferno by Sebastian Maffut. It is fitting that the previous canto ended with a map in explanation of the structure of iniquity. For here we find the Minotaur as guardian of the seventh circle, a beast whose destroyer in life was someone who entered his infernal labyrinth and kept track of his path with string in order to find his way out again. The Minotaur is also someone who, according to XIII's description, was more beast than human, conceived in a sodomitic union, and a devourer of human flesh. Following the law of contrapasso, we realize instinctively by this point the nature of the beast is the nature of the sinners he watches over. While the Minotaur guards all 3 rounds of the seventh circle, moreover, each round contains within it its own guards, which means he is the expression of all violence, while the inner guardians express only a portion of it. Descending further, Virgil points out another effect of Christ's presence on earth, in the form of the fallen rocks down which the poets must climb. At the moment of Christ's death, an earthquake shook hell, and knocked down the escarpment here, in one of the bridges spanning the Bolgia of the 8th circle below. Among the violent against neighbor are a variety of souls, who in life lashed out mortally against the natural love they should feel for their fellow man. Among these sinners, who are submerged in the deeper or shallower parts of Phlegeton, the river of blood, according to the degree of their guilt, we find Alexander the Great and Attila the Hun. They warred against others to satisfy bloodlust and greed, and may be contrasted against the Crusaders who fought for Christ in creed, whom we find in the sphere of Mars in heaven. As the poets enter this round, they encounter its guardians, the Centaurs, half man, half horse, who race up and down the river, shooting with their arrows any sinner who raises himself out of the blood to a greater height than his guilt will allow. The Centaurs, for all their bestiality, are, unlike the Minotaur, rational creatures, who engage the poets in conversation, and even help them. Chiron, the former tutor of Achilles, is their leader, and he assigns Nessus, whose blood killed Hercules, to carry Dante across the river at its shallowest point. The violent in hell have lost their capacity to fight one another, and may only simmer in the boiling blood they spilt in life. That they move around in it and are made uncomfortable by it is evidenced in the use of the bows and arrows by the Centaurs, like us, rational beings prone to violence, who are destined to keep watch over them. The reality is, of course, that when one throws a blow, adding the disposition of violence to the predisposition of wrath, one admits to losing the argument. What is needed to avoid lashing out is to conform the irascible appetite, within which wrath is contained, to the rational faculty that governs it, and to understand, simply, that while we cannot always control the things that happen to us in life, we can control the way in which we respond to them. We were not made for violence, but for love, and our praying for the capacity to forgive those who harm us, and developing the habit of doing so, is a realization of that love that formed us in His image and likeness.